If you hate selling, you're not the only one. But sometimes you have to get on a call with someone before they buy. You don't have to dread it. Let's reframe it. The trick is this: you don't pitch, you consult instead. When you run your sales calls like a consultant, the entire conversation changes. One of the most important parts of the call is helping them understand what's really going to cost them if nothing changes. That shifts the conversation away from performing towards clarity. But most of what people call selling is performative. It's pitching, persuading, convincing, trying to sound confident, trying to say the right things. And for a lot of experts, the whole process feels like you have to do the very extroverted things to get clients. Things like cold DMing, outbound outreach, performing on sales calls. But if you value competence and authenticity, that approach is not just draining, it's an inefficient use of your expertise. And that's not what this is. What we're talking about is consultative sales. It's about helping someone to get relief from an expensive problem. Because once someone truly understands they have a real problem, they're already looking for relief. They're already searching for a solution. And your job is to help them decide whether you are the right solution. And you do that by helping them feel heard and understood. When selling feels gross, it's usually because you're trying to perform instead of diagnose. You're worried about saying the right thing or asking the right questions. You're trying to push instead of understand. Instead, the call should become a conversation. You ask things like, what's going on that made you look for help now? What have you already tried? And as they talk, you start connecting the dots. You then reflect back what you're hearing. You help them see the pattern. You help them to really understand what the problem is costing them. Sometimes it's time, sometimes it's lost revenue, could be stress, burnout, or missed opportunities. Don't make the mistake of jumping straight into solutioning. You first have to make sure that the problem is clear. Consultative sales has to start with curiosity. Let me give you an example. Imagine a consultant gets on a call with a company that says they need to attract more customers. The pitch version would start with selling lead generation services right away. But the consultative version is different. Instead of jumping to leads, the consultant asks questions and then listens. And what they discover is the company doesn't actually have a lead problem. They have a retention problem. They're losing more existing customers than they're gaining each quarter. So even if you bring in more leads, you're pouring water into a leaky bucket. When you solve the retention problem, the customer's lifetime value goes up. And keeping an existing customer costs less than acquiring new ones. That's the kind of root cause you only uncover through a consultation. Without that conversation, you could have sold them the wrong solution. So that highlights the real secret to consultative selling. You're not trying to win, you're trying to help the prospect make the best decision possible. And every conversation does not need to end in a yes. A good conversation just ends in clarity. Clarity for you and clarity for the prospect. Now, when you stop worrying about conversions, it gets so much easier. You can show up grounded, you ask better questions, you stop sounding like you're desperate for a sale. Ironically, that's often when your conversions actually improve. If you want help applying this in a real conversation without pitching, pushing, or feeling awkward, my masterclass walks you through how to attract high-paying clients without the performative selling. And then we clarify your positioning, tighten your message, and build a client acquisition system that attracts the right people and turns conversations into clients naturally. If you're ready to stop overthinking selling and start feeling confident in how you enroll clients, the link to the masterclass is in the description.